Oh my god, you're from the Philippines? Oh my god, I love lumpia. It's lumpiang Shanghai. We are making lumpiang Shanghai today. I have been looking for ground pork truly like for far too long.
Okay, great.
Mabuhay! Ako po si RJ at ito ay bagong episode ng RJ Food Rocks World. Today, gagawa tayo ng aking paboritong recipe. I can't even think in Tagalog anymore. This is so bad. I can't even think Tagalog sentences anymore. I'm trying to say I want to make this recipe that's like a favorite recipe in the Philippines that we make all the time. It's lumpiang Shanghai. We are making lumpiang Shanghai today. There is a recipe. I know there's a recipe from my family that is lumpia. What's funny about lumpia is that when I tell people that I'm Filipino, and they're mostly white people, first thing that people will say oh my god, you're from the Philippines? Oh my god, I love lumpia. Lumpia is so good. That was me in college. And I'm not trying to out one of my friends right now, but Mary Ellen, who grew up in a stone's throw away from Vallejo, which is literally tiny Manila in California, she was I ate lumpia all the time growing up. So I made it a couple of times in college, but never really fully delved into it. But now I am fully lumpia all the time. I have the stack that I made for this recipe is still in my fridge, in my freezer, because when I just feel the need for lumpia, I just pop it on a hot pan and I make some lumpia. This is basically our version of an egg roll or spring roll. Every Asian country has their own version of a roll of some kind. Lumpia uses a special kind of wrapper that's really I've tried to recreate this with an egg roll wrapper. A typical egg roll wrapper, not really the same. Typical spring roll wrapper, not really the same. There is a specific lumpia wrapper that you can find, excuse me, at Asian food stores that is specifically Filipino Lumpia spring roll wrapper. So I found a box of those in my local Asian grocer, and now we have lumpia, and now I can create lumpia every day to tell my family here in the States, my friends and family can have this food that I truly ate all the time growing up. So I'm going to show you today how I made my own lumpiang Shanghai. So traditionally, this is a pork and shrimp filling. I did not have any shrimp, so I improvised as usual, is what I do here at RJ's Food Rocks. So I'm going to show you how you make your very own lumpia. Pumunta tayo sa kusina! So the first thing we're doing is creating our filling for our lumpiang Shanghai. So with my food processor, I am blitzing together 3 small to medium-sized carrots. I'm peeling them first before I drop them in the food processor. And then just a handful of garlic cloves. I use 3 or 4. I'm also blitzing half a medium onion. Once you have that all blitzed, that is ready to go in your bowl for your mixing. Traditionally, we use pork and shrimp. I do not have shrimp, but I've been making sushi a lot, so I have imitation crab sticks, just to get a seafoody flavor. I'm using these crab sticks. I am also blitzing them in the food processor, and I'm including it in my filling. I got ground. First of all, me realizing that you can take pork chops at the frozen produce section and give it to the butcher at a grocery store and be like, can you ground this up for me? I have been looking for ground pork truly like for far too long. You're using about 1.5 pounds of ground pork here to mix with your vegetables. Your gulay. Gulay is vegetables in Tagalog. I'm just gonna sprinkle in some Tagalog words so that you can learn with me. I'm also adding an egg here, an itlog, and my seasonings that I like to use for lumpia filling is a little bit of patis, which is fish sauce, and I use this like liquid seasoning. That's like what it's called, but it's made by Knorr or Maggi. Those are the two brands that I've seen like at Asian stores. So if you see this bottle, it's iconic. This is like the same bottle shape for every liquid seasoning that I've ever seen growing up. So I really highly suggest getting one of these. They're a great way to add instant seasoning to meats. Really go all out. I probably ended up using maybe like a half cup, maybe a quarter cup of this liquid seasoning. You kind of just like season to taste with salt and pepper. Now you're probably wondering, how would I season to taste on ground pork? Well, dear listeners, you gotta fry a little batch to find out. So this was always my favorite part about whenever my family would make lumpia. I would sit there and watch them like taste the ground meat. So yeah, you fry a little bit of it, like a little patty, and then see if that tastes good. And if you need additional seasoning, go ahead and add more of that liquid seasoning or add some salt and pepper. Taste as you go. That is the only way you can find out if what you're cooking will be edible by the end. You've seen it in some of these videos. Sometimes I don't do that and I miss a step and I'm like, oh, this is not turn out good. So taste as you go. Once you have that, you start rolling lumpia. I mean, once you get in the groove, it really becomes like a very zen, very peaceful exercise. So I literally spent maybe an hour, not even, like maybe like 30 minutes just rolling lumpia. What I do is I use water to seal the edges. So I roll up, fold the edges inside, and then can finish the seal. There are some people that use, I think traditionally, like my family used an egg wash, so they'll just beat an egg. But I was saving eggs for a future episode. So, saving eggs. So I just use water here. Adam started playing Animal Crossing next to me, so he was writing down how many fruit trees he had in his nut island. So but once you have your lumpia all rolled up, you are ready to fry. So you can use a nonstick skillet here. You don't need to deep fry these. You can kind of just like shallow fry them, just like I'm doing here. And you're really just trying to get it into a golden brown color, a nice crispy texture. What I like to do, and what you really should be doing when you're making lumpia like these, is cut them into smaller pieces like this. I left 4 pieces like the way they are, and they sogged up like that. So I think that's the point of keeping lumpia short, is that when it cools, there's less moisture to sog up your lumpia. So highly recommend cutting them. So that, and also that just means you can keep eating lumpia as you go and you don't even realize that you've eaten 20 or 25. So that is my recipe for lumpiang Shanghai. I hope that you make it as well at your own home. Here is the lumpia. Lumpiang Shanghai is the official name of this.
Here, hold on. Let me do your thumbnail. Will be your thumbnail.
Your YouTube thumbnail? You have to do, yeah.
Wait, huh?
It looks like a mukbang video.
Okay, great.
Here's the lumpia. This is like sweet chili sauce that you have to eat it with. There's no other option.
Did you make it yourself?
No.
Oh.
Buy a bottle.
Semi-homemade.
Semi-homemade lumpia. Mmm. Hear the crunch? This one goes to my sister-in-law who loves listening to sounds of chewing. Mmm.
Hear that, Diana?
A good staple recipe of a lumpia. Not too crazy, just right.
Right.
Just right.
The whites love lumpia.
Yun lang po, ang dali-daling gumawa ng lumpia sa inyong bahay. So, siguraduhin nyo na gawin nyo to sa bahay nyo at mag-enjoy kayo na kumain ng lumpia. Wala ka? Mama. Maraming salamat po. Ituluyan yung panoorin ang aking videos dito sa YouTube. You can find me at RJ's Food Rocks on all of your social media. That's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can also find me on Patreon. We have a Patreon now. $5 a month gets you included in this beautiful list, but also a monthly drawing for a gift and exclusive videos every week and early releases for our videos. So thank you again to all of my Food Rocks Patreons, my Food Rockers. Yeah! Thank you so much for your continual support. You can also find me on the new podcast, The Popsicle, where a friend and I will lap up what's new in pop culture. You can hear The Popsicle on all of your podcast apps, and you can watch the show on the Ampliverse YouTube channel. Every Thursday afternoon, there is a new episode for you to enjoy. Thank you again for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know how you've made lumpia. Write it in the comments below. And let me know what other Food Rocks World recipes you want me to try. I have another one in mind, but I am looking for other suggestions. So if you have a favorite recipe that you love, I mean, like, I want to make Belgian fries. I want to make poutine. I just want to make different types of French fries, apparently. But if you have any suggestions for Food Rocks World recipes that you want me to try, sound off in the comments below. Thank you again so much for watching. I will see you next week with another video. Paalam! Maraming salamat po! Sana magustuhan nyo ang lumpia na ginawa natin ngayong araw na to.